I had to play this one to remind people where they live from what you were just talking about.
Yeah, I know. Tell me
How
about
could our
it.
country do this to us?
Well, it's getting worse every day, isn't it, Pat George? I mean, just the encroachments on our liberties, and then the idea that, there's something wrong with you for wanting a little privacy. You must be doing something wrong, Pat George, if you wanted some privacy,
I don't have privacy. I live with Alexa.
That's true. You got the little robot spy
I got
in your
Alexa
house.
and all of her little sisters.
Well, to each his own. But, well, we could have a long show about privacy. We could have a long show. I didn't prepare for that, and there's a lot I'd love to get into. Maybe we should do that one day. Maybe we should do a retrospective on the historical importance of privacy. I think I've just given myself an idea for a future show there.
There's no such thing anymore.
Well, that's what they say, but something that was important for almost all of human history. It was something that we cherished, something that people fought and died for. Just a couple of 100 years ago, it was considered, very important. And now we say, that wasn't important at all. And maybe, just maybe, folks in the past knew something. Maybe they had something figured out. Maybe we shouldn't just so quickly discard all of the traditions and thoughts and cultural things that we have that have come to us through history and through experience of many generations before us. But let's flip back and keep talking about the spying, though, because I want to say Bill Barr is just really impressing me. Everything that he's doing is impressing me. I was so impressed by his conduct before the Senate last week. And, he didn't go before the House. But, those jokers in the House, the Democrats, and they may by now have held him in contempt this morning. I don't know. That's what they were threatening to do.
You know what I liked about him? He had enough. That's why he didn't want to show up. He had enough.
It was also that hold on a sec, though. Keep in mind what they wanted to do. They were not – the actual Congress people were not going to be questioning him. First of all, they have slandered him. Mm-hmm. Even in the Senate, they were just slandering him, calling him a liar.
They want to beat him up.
They want to beat him up, but they don't even have the guts to do it themselves and look like idiots on TV, which he would make them look like idiots. They want to have their staffers do it. What an insult. What an insult. This is the Attorney General of the United States, and you're going to put some little punk staffer, some little functionary, some little communist apparatchik functionary that you've got on your staff is going to come and browbeat the Attorney General of the United States.
Whoa, you're getting all red-faced now.
Because I'm angry, because that makes me want to punch him in the face. Nonsense. That's crap. You ought to have the dignity. If you want to have the Attorney General in for questioning him, you, Congress people, ought to have the dignity to do the questioning yourselves. If you don't have the intelligence to do it, get the heck out of Congress. Get out. If you can't do it yourself and you got to pass it off to a staffer. But what they want to do is I think they wanted to pass it to the staffers, and the staffers were going to go really negative and nasty. And they were going to do the old cross-examination like you're in a deposition. I could just beat you up like I'm a lawyer, and I'm just going to tell you what to do and push you around this deposition. That's what they thought they were going to do to the Attorney General. And I don't blame him for saying no. I'm not going to stand for that. That's beneath the dignity of my office and is a circus. And so what did the Democrats do? They ordered fried chicken in to Congress. Do you see that? Did you see the pictures of Steve Cohen with the fried chicken?
No, I did not see that.
Eating Kentucky Fried Chicken. They put a plastic chicken in the chair where Bill Barr was supposed to be sitting. It's a joke.
Oh, my gosh. No, I did not see.
These people have no shame. Oh. No shame.
Well, when I saw there were empty chairs, I left it at that. I didn't go any further, and I was just glad he wasn't there.
What a joke. What a joke. But why don't we hear some, because, enough about Morgan talking. Why don't we hear some from Bill Barr? Because he's going to be reviewing. And I think what happened is, the left, they pushed this too far. They probably should have dropped this whole thing. While they maybe could have got away with it, because now they pushed it so far, they made everybody so angry that everybody's like, okay, now we're going to get to the bottom of this. We're going to find out how did this all start. And remember, we've covered on the show, the timeline is really bad for intelligence services because we already know they were spying, they were investigating, they were surveilling, whatever word you want to use, before they had a warrant. So they were spying on American citizens before they have a warrant. Well, let's hear what Bill Barr has to say about some of this.
I am going to be reviewing both the genesis and the conduct of intelligence activities directed at the Trump campaign during 2016.
That statement right there makes me feel really good. I'm glad. Good. Now, Bill Barr is going to take a look at it because I believe if something was done wrong, and I believe there clearly was, I think Bill Barr is going to do something about it now.
Now it's my turn.
Yeah, maybe you don't poke the bear, right? He seems so nice. Then you poke him. Let's hear what he's going to do about it.
A lot of this has already been investigated, and a substantial portion of it has been investigated and is being investigated by the Office of Inspector General at the department. But one of the things I want to do is pull together all the information from the various investigations that have gone on, including on the Hill and in the department, and see if there are any remaining questions to be addressed.
And can you share with us why you feel a need to do that?
Well, for the same reason we're worried about foreign influence in elections. We want to make sure that during an election, I think spying on a political campaign is a big deal. It's a big deal. Generation I grew up in, which was the Vietnam War period, people were all concerned about spying on anti-war people and so forth by the government. And there were a lot of rules put in place to make sure that there's an adequate basis before our law enforcement agencies get involved in political surveillance. I'm not suggesting that those rules were violated, but I think it's important to look at that. And I'm not talking about the FBI necessarily, but intelligence agencies more broadly.
Very interesting. When asked directly whether he thought spying occurred, here's
I think spying did occur. Yes, I think spying did occur.
So that's it. So he already thinks spying did occur. When he was put on the spot, that's what he said. And we've got enough evidence of that. I mean, we've got the dinner that was set up with General Michael Flynn over there. Remember where they hauled him over there and had the lady sitting across the table from him, Svetlana Lukova, who was associated with Stefan Halper, remember, and his group, the Cambridge Security Initiative, or whatever it was called, that they were putting together there, and they were trying to sell their intelligence products and wanted to show them off to General Flynn. Well, it was all a big honeypot because remember after that, then Stefan Halper started spreading the rumor that General Flynn was having an affair with the lady. He only ever had dinner with her and he didn't even sit close to her. I mean, it's absolutely crazy. Well, then we had the same Stefan Halper setting up meetings with George Papadopoulos, deploying his what's called assistant, and I'm sure we don't have this lady's real name because her nom de plume is Azra Turk, and she's supposed to be Turkish. So that's just a little too cute, I think. So that's probably, her fictitious name, one of the many aliases that she uses in the intelligence world. But this Azra Turk, who made a hard pass and is described as a blonde bombshell, made a hard pass at George Papadopoulos. I mean, who did she work for? Because the New York Times says that she was an FBI asset. There are other people who have said that she was some kind of a Western intelligence asset, maybe CIA. All of this is going to come out. See, this is all documented in memos. James Comey wrote a whole bunch of memos about all this stuff. That's a new piece of information we've learned. They won't give those memos to us, which I think is just very interesting because apparently James Comey can self-leak his own memos. He can pick and choose which of his memos that he wrote up, allegedly, he wants to leak to his buddy, to leak to the New York Times. But the rest of the memos, those are off limits. We can't release those because, that involves national security and or ongoing investigations. And the truth is, James Comey shouldn't have been releasing any of his memos. That's the truth, if those memos are to be protected. But we'll eventually, see, that's the thing. We know they exist. Drip by drip, the information's coming out. We're eventually going to get to the bottom of that. But in the time remaining in this segment, because there's a lot more we could cover, we need to ask some questions. Who was Joseph Mifsud working for? That's the guy in Rome that George Papadopoulos met up with. It may well come out that he was working for Western intelligence. That's the thing that we're hearing now through the grapevine that is going to come out. Now, this is the guy that James Comey says is a Russian representative. So what's going to come out as we cook this whole thing up? This whole thing, we entrapped the Trump campaign. And by we, I don't mean we individually. I mean American intelligence.
Right.
Yeah. Whether it be the CIA. I mean, obviously the FBI was heavily involved. We don't know who else in the intelligence services were involved. We know there was involvement of the FISA process because there was a lot of abuse of that process, and we've talked some about that. How much time do we have left in the segment, Pat George?
I would say about 2 minutes before you can hear the music, but I wanted to ask you, how much nervousness behind closed doors do you think is going on?
Oh, I think there's a lot of nervousness.
I would not want to be a part of any of that.
I think that's why they're attacking Bill Barr. They're saying he needs to be impeached. He needs to be removed. He's the most dangerous man in America. Yeah, to them. Yeah, because,
get rid of anybody that can know anything or do any talking.
Right. Well, he's on to him now, and that's what they know. But I wanted to, I don't know if we'll be able to get this in because it's a little over 2 minutes, this clip, but I wanted to see if we couldn't get in Representative Ratcliffe, who was talking about the FISA process. And if we don't get the whole thing in, maybe we'll have to circle back to it some next week. But I want to at least start it because, everybody today knows that the Steele dossier was false. We're down to a minute.
Yeah, a minute before you can start hearing the music.
Oh, we don't even have time to do it justice. We can't even start it. It's a 2-minute clip. I can't even start it. I am sorry. But nevertheless, the reason I wanted to share it with you is because he talks about the fact that the application to spy on the Trump campaign, which remember was based on the Carter Page stuff, and the Steele dossier, which included some Carter Page allegations, that was verified. It was verified by everybody who signed off on it. Who signed off on it? James Comey, Sally Yates, Rod Rosenstein, and others. All of those people verified that application. What does it mean to verify an application to a court? Does that mean that it came to your desk and there was a blank where you were supposed to sign and you just simply signed in that blank and passed it on down the chain?
You'd hope not.
You'd hope not. I mean, we would expect more. We would expect more of law enforcement. We would expect more of our public servants than that. But nevertheless, that's what they want to claim they did. Well, I wasn't really responsible for verifying this. I mean, there was a lot of everything was sworn to by FBI agents, and FBI agents, they never lie. And I'm not saying that they would lie. I'm just saying, point is, you're supposed to verify it yourself. You're supposed to verify it yourself. That's what you're signing off on. That's why the FISA court basically rubber stamps these things. Well, everybody to a one now agrees that the Steele dossier was fake. Mueller says it was fake. I mean, fake, completely fabricated, made up out of whole cloth, no basis whatsoever. Didn't happen. The whole Moscow hooker thing didn't happen. None of it happened. It's false. Slander. Even Michael Isikoff, in the last couple of weeks in an interview with Vanity Fair, he acknowledged it's false, and he said that he's surprised that people on the left haven't been a little bit quicker to back away from it because it's so obviously false. And remember, he's the guy whose news article they used to support the application. I mean, it's such a joke. It is such a joke. Even they know it's fake. We'll be right back.
Thank you for listening to the Morgan Streetman Show. We hope you enjoyed what you heard, and if you did, please click like and subscribe to help us out. And remember that we recommend that you exercise your brain at least once a week.